First date follow-up. Powered by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. Online at advocateslaw.com.
Mark is on the phone today for a first date follow-up, and he's getting ghosted by a woman named Sasha. So in a few minutes, we'll call her and see if she'll tell us why she's ghosting him and maybe get him another date. But first, Mark, how long has it been since you heard from Sasha?
It's been about a couple weeks now.
Okay. Have you been reaching out to her during that time?
Yeah, I mean, I've called a couple times, I've texted, and been no reply. And that's why I'm calling you guys to try and see if we can figure out what's going on.
Well, why don't you tell us about how you met her and then the date and stuff?
Yeah, so we met on Hinge, and I just immediately found her to be so beautiful and classy. I mean, one of her photos, she was even wearing pearls, and I thought that was so sexy. So
I love pearls.
We started chatting, and she told me how she always wanted to go to Paris. So I thought for a date, we could go to this Parisian cafe and get coffee and croissants, which I thought was perfect.
Oh, that's cool. Did you wear a beret?
No. I did not wear a beret.
Yeah, that's definitely why I was getting ghosted. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cute idea, though.
Yeah.
Thoughtful.
I thought so too. So we had our croissants and our coffee, and we're talking and laughing, and she shared so much of her life story with me. I just felt like she really wanted me to know her, which was just so sweet. And we were supposed to go on a bike ride, but then her roommate reached out that she needed to be taken care of. So I was okay with that because I love that she's good to her friends. But after that, I never really heard from her again.
So what did she say to you, or what was the interaction like after her roommate called, or as you guys were going your separate ways?
Well, we were supposed to go on this bike ride, and she kind of had to dodge out. So I gave her a hug, and she said she had a great time, and that was basically it. I said, I'll call you later. And when I called, I got no answer. I texted a couple times over the course of the last few days, and no response.
Is her roommate okay?
I hope so.
Not to freak you out, but you don't think it was one of those things where someone says, hey, I'll text you on the sly, and then you call me, and then I'll say I have to go if you're on a date you don't like. Do you think that could have been a thing?
I didn't get that vibe. I mean, she was opening up so much to me about her life and her family and her friends. It just felt like she was having a really great time. I mean, the only thing I can think of is there's a bunch of people checking me out in the cafe, which, sometimes I'm a little awkward, but I do kind of look like a real life Superman at times. So I was getting a lot of attention.
What?
But I just want to.
Okay, you look like a real life Superman. What does that mean? Are you ripped?
Ooh,
what does that mean?
That you're hot.
I've got this Clark Kent kind of swirled in my hair, and
okay,
I've been compared a lot to it. But my eyes were on her. I don't know if that was anything that she was nervous about, but I don't think anything was wrong with the friend. I just genuinely thought she had to go help her.
Did you tell her that you look like Superman at any point? Because that also could have been.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay. She's got eyes.
Lucky you. You're on a date with Superman.
I know.
All right. And you didn't get a kiss or anything, right? At the end of the date?
No. I was going to try and go for it, but there's a bunch of people outside the shop of the Parisian coffee shop, and I just felt like a warm hug was the right move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure it out for you. We'll play a song, come back, and then call her and see if she'll tell us why she's ghosting you and maybe get you another date, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Play a song, come back, get your first date follow-up next. If you're just joining us for today's first date follow-up, Mark is on the phone and he's getting ghosted by Sasha. So we're about to call her and see if she'll tell us why she's ghosting him and maybe get him another date. But before we do that, Mark, why don't you catch us up on your situation?
Yeah, well, I met this beautiful girl named Sasha. We met on Hinge, went on this great date to a Parisian cafe, had a great time, and now I haven't heard from her and I want to know why.
Well, and you do think it's because you look like Superman, maybe, and you were getting checked out a lot, right?
I'm just worried. I'm just worried that she was aware of that people were looking at me. That's all.
Okay.
I don't know if
that can be kind of awkward.
That was a reason.
Like if you're with somebody that's super hot that everybody's staring at, you do feel like, oh, are you judging me? I get that.
Well, we're ready for us to call her?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Here we go.
Hello?
Hi, may I speak to Sasha, please?
This is...
Sasha, hi, how are you? My name is Jubal. I'm calling from a radio show. It's called The Jubal Show.
Hi, I'm Nina, also on the show.
Hi, and I'm Victoria.
Oh, wow. Hi.
Do you listen to the show ever?
Sometimes, yeah. You guys are great.
Sweet.
This is so crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know why we're calling you?
I have a suspicion, and I'm nervous about it. That suspicion being true.
What do you think it is? What's your suspicion?
Is it the second date follow-up?
The first date follow-up, yes.
Oh, first date follow-up, yeah.
Yep. You are ghosting somebody. Do you know who?
Knows.
I have a sneaking suspicion that it's Mark.
And you're correct.
She knows the answer to all of our questions today.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't really ghost that often, but this was a unique experience.
Really? Okay. Would you mind telling us why you're ghosting him?
He was just so gross. I'm sorry. That was like the plainest, most easiest way to say it. He was burping throughout the entire date. And like the first time it was just kind of because it was loud and he didn't say excuse me or anything like that. But then it kind of just kept happening. And so like I felt like I had to keep talking so that I didn't have to engage with him. And it was just so uncomfortable. I was just thoroughly grossed out.
Was it just really loud or was it kind of under his breath? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, see, that's the thing. I get that burping is natural, but there are ways that you can kind of minimize the damage. Like you can kind of put it under your breath. You can cover your mouth. You can say, excuse me. But like, since none of that was happening, but the burping in itself kept happening over and over, it just felt like super disrespectful. And I was so turned off and grossed out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I wouldn't love that either.
Like in the place you were at, he was just burping loudly?
Yes, constantly. It was so frequent and so loud. Like it almost got to the point where, like Homer Simpson, when he belches,
Stop
like his lips kind of ripple. Like that's what I felt like. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but like that's what I started to feel like was happening. Like I was just,
I can't even.
Okay. Well, he didn't tell us that.
No. It sounded like a very pleasant date.
Yeah. Maybe you forgot, or maybe you haven't heard enough first date follow-ups to know that he's actually on the phone listening and wants to burp at you. To talk to you. Mark?
Well, yeah. Hi, Sasha.
Hi. Sorry.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I burped a couple of times because I've been dealing with some like stress-related acid reflux.
I'm sorry to hear that, but then like, why did we go to coffee? Like, that's not going to help the situation, any,
Well, because I wanted to take you to a Parisian cafe. I mean, is the real reason that because I look like Superman?
What?
Sorry, that's not nice. I'm sorry. Okay. No, that's not the reason. Yes, you are an objectively attractive man, but if you're wondering about why people were looking at you, it was because you were burping so much that people were concerned that you were going to be sick.
Are you sure that people weren't just looking at me because of how I look?
No, I'm sorry. It was not attractive. They were not looking at you because you were attractive. They were looking at you because they were disgusted. I'm so sorry.
I can't even help but ask, like, Mark, are you okay? Because to be burping that much, I don't know if that's normal.
Yeah, I've been on a different medication to try and deal with my reflux. It's just been a struggle bus, but I'm doing much better, thanks.
Okay.
Like Sasha, you say you want to go to France, but you really probably shouldn't go to France because in other countries, it's actually considered polite to burp.
Oh, what? Is it?
It's a compliment to the chef.
Well, even if that's true, here in the States, I like it if someone burps that they at least say, excuse me, or cover their mouth or something along those lines. Maybe I'm reaching for the stars here, but that is something that I am looking for. blatant respect.
Well, I
in
usually
that
say
sense.
excuse me. I usually say excuse me, but you were telling these beautiful stories. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was trying to respect you.
Sasha, would you like to go on another date with Mark? We'll pay for it.
You know what? I didn't know that she was so close-minded, so I honestly don't know if this is going to work out.
Closed-minded? What do you mean?
I mean, if you can't just be present and accept a person for how they are, I mean, burping happens.
Yeah, I get that. It's just how you handle it that, really changes things. And how you handled it was just not it for me.
That's fine. I mean, if somebody's going to accept me for my burps too.
All right. Well, sorry, no second date, Mark, but it sounds like you're fine with that.
Yeah, I think it's for the best.
Jubal's first date follow-up.